So yesterday I went try that again. Yesterday I went to just 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 over there. I let's start the show. So what have I been playing? Well, that's a personal question. I'll thank you not to ask again. You're lucky I'll answer it this time. I have been playing the Digistruct Peak Challenge, the Borderlands DLC from Ultimate Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack 2? Maybe? I'm not positive. It's called something like that. I'll link to it in the description. Incredibly difficult. I have some really nice gear now, and it's still incredibly difficult to get through that. Because if you die, you're all the way back at the start. You gotta, it's mission failed. You have to start all over again. So basically, the enemies are digitally constructed, by Patricia Tanis and Lilith for the purposes of training the Crimson Lance recruits in the ways of combat, so they can eventually move on and go check out these other vaults in other solar systems, which is great. I'm wondering if maybe, just maybe, the next Borderlands 3, or whatever they're going to call it, will take place in a different solar system on a different planet, because that would be really cool. I would love to explore the Borderlands galaxy a bit more, or a lot more. A lot more would be better. So I've been playing a lot of this Super Splatters, which I will also link to in the description. It's also on sale right now on Steam. It's 50% off. It has apparently been out for the Xbox 360 for like a year. But it's a lot of fun, so I figured I should mention it, even though I've only put in like 40 minutes on it. It's very pleasant and enjoyable. It's kind of casual when you start out, and then as you progress into it, it feels not so much casual and more just sort of like a reflex-based kind of game. But something you would really get into eventually and spend a lot of time playing, which can be good or bad, depending on your preference and how much time you have. I've also been playing a lot of Dive Kick. I mentioned in my Dive Kick video that I posted that I wasn't connecting online. It didn't. I mean, it was connecting. It just wasn't getting me anybody to play against. That seems to have been fixed. Maybe, I guess there are probably a lot more people that have gotten the game since then, so there are a lot more people online playing. And the ranked matches are a lot of fun. I got a choke, which is great. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Basically, I lost 4 rounds, and I had a fraud detection alert, and then I made a full comeback, and I beat him 5 times in a row, and it was great. I got a choke on it, and I didn't know that my mic was on. So I was sitting there going, honey, I got a choke, I got a choke. And I hear over the speakers, wow, that guy's really excited. Plus he was probably bitter that he got choked, but hey, what are you going to do? And aside from that, I've just been doing the Spelunky Daily Challenge here and there as much as I can, or as often as I can. And that's about it. That's all I've been playing. I've been playing a ton of Dive Kick, mostly Dive Kick and Digistruct Peak. That's about it. Alright, so this one comes to us from GameSpot.com. In the news, 3D Realms versus Gearbox lawsuit settled. Sounds hilarious, and it kind of is. Basically, 3D Realms, the original creators and owners of the Duke Nukem IP, by them, I think I'm just referring to the CEO, Scott Miller from 3D Realms. He believed that Gearbox owed them an additional $2 million in royalties, which they evidently did not. They claimed to have been confused. They didn't know what was going on, and they withdrew their lawsuit. Randy Pitchford was also quoted, or rather, in this case, paraphrased, as saying something along the lines of Apogee Software, which is what 3D Realms goes by now. They put out more lawsuits than games, basically. They release more lawsuits than they release games, which is probably true, because they don't do a whole lot. They're mostly just a name these days. After reviewing the evidence regarding our business affairs, and without any money exchanging hands, we have satisfactorily resolved any and all differences that we perceived against Gearbox, 3D Realms co-founder and CEO Scott Miller said in a statement to GameSpot.com. Hilarious. In all sincerity, we regret the misunderstanding that instigated our lawsuit, Miller added. Now that we better understand and appreciate the actual nature of our business matters, we have voluntarily withdrawn our claims against Gearbox with genuine apologies to Gearbox Software CEO Randy Pitchford for any damage that our lawsuit may have caused to the relationship. So there's that. What else is going on? Let's see. Oh yeah, Super Retro Squad. I wanted to mention Super Retro Squad. I'll link to their website in the description. Basically, Super Retro Squad is going to be made by the same people that made the Super Mario Brothers crossover games, which you can totally play for free, and I will link to those in the description as well, I guess, or something. Actually, I'll just link to the whole website. ExplodingRabbit.com. You can go there and check out the trailer and the pitch video and everything. Basically, they went up on Kickstarter a while back to get funded, and they did get funded. They're working on the game now. They're saying it'll probably be released in, I think it's late 2014 or something like that. I could be totally wrong. Maybe it was 2015. It looks really good. I'll get some screenshots up in the video. Yeah, I mean, it's coming along nicely. There's an 8-bit style you can unlock, a handheld style. It looks really good, and it's similar to Super Mario Brothers crossover in that you have all these various different characters you can choose from, most of which were inspired or ripped off, whichever you prefer, from Mario, Mega Man, Contra, all kinds of stuff. And Super Mario Brothers crossover is definitely worth taking a look at because you can play through the original Mario levels with Bill Reiser from Contra, and it's hilarious. Definitely worth looking at. Okay, so this one's really good. This is juicy. This is a juicy story. Again from actually this is coming from UK magazine Edge. Edge UK magazine. All right. Headline reads, PlayStation 4 noticeably faster than Xbox One. So developers are starting to get the development version of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and they're comparing them and so on and so forth. And so various anonymous statements are getting leaked from these developers. Here's one, for example. This is a quote. Xbox One is weaker, and it's a pain to use its ES RAM. There were a lot of comparisons being done. I guess the RAM speed in the PS4 is between 40 to 50% faster than the Xbox One. These are just things that the developers are supposedly noticing. There was also, what was it? Oh, the CPU speed is twice as fast, even after Xbox One enhanced their CPU from 1.6 gigahertz up to 1.75, which really, come on, that's a spit in the ocean as far as I can tell. So there's that. That's interesting. It doesn't mean the Xbox One will be a bad console. If the games are there, then the games are there, and it's going to be a great console. But as it stands right now, hardware-wise, PlayStation 4 is still way, way ahead of Xbox One. All right, here's a good one from GamerHub.tv. J.J. Abrams, emotionally hurt by latest Star Trek game. Emotionally hurt. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking how bad the latest Star Trek game is. Star Trek director J.J. Abrams was none too pleased with Digital Extreme's Star Trek the video game, calling the game in a new interview big disappointment and one that hurt him emotionally. That's a little extreme, I think, but I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy that might take his job a little too seriously. I don't know. I guess when you have that many hardcore fans ripping it at your throat for every single little thing you do, you probably feel you have to take it as seriously as possible, and I can understand that. Abrams said the game could have been a product that, quote-unquote, really benefited the series, but ultimately came up short, potentially damaging the impact of Into Darkness. Yeah, I doubt that. Video game to movie tie-ins the games are always going to suck. I mean, occasionally you get a really bad movie, and for whatever reason the game is awesome, I guess because you're comparing it to the horrible movie, but and was something that I think, for me, emotionally, it hurt. Okay, we get it. You're emotionally hurt, J.J. Abrams. So he acknowledges that very, very rarely does a video game based on a movie or a movie based on a video game ever end up actually really working that well, which is true. In addition, apparently, here we go, Abrams is currently working with Portal and Half-Life studio Valve on a pair of projects, and said the way he is approaching these unannounced endeavors is looking at the properties from the ground up. Yeah, he talks about looking at the properties from the ground up regardless of what comes before. They haven't actually said what it is. Is he helping to make a video game, helping tell a story in a video game, or is he actually going to try to do like a Portal movie or a Half-Life movie? I don't know. But if he wants to build it from the ground up, then it's basically, it's going to be a Half-Life reboot or a Portal reboot. I don't know. I'm going to link to that Portal fan film that was made a while ago. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it. And if you already have seen it, you should go watch it again because it's amazing. And I really like the actress they got for that. And finally, ZDNet reports that Microsoft's going to be coming out with this. It's a Siri equivalent for Microsoft, and it will be called Cortana, which is, of course, the female AI in the Halo games, which is kind of cool if it sounded like her. I don't know. It depends on how, look, we all know how well Microsoft's voice recognition software has worked in the past, so we'll just have to wait and see. But supposedly it's going to be not only for the Windows Phone operating system as well as the Xbox One's operating system, but it will also be available on the just standard Windows 8 or possibly prior operating systems as well. So in theory, you would sit down at your computer and ask it questions and tell it to turn on and stuff. I don't know. It seems pointless. I don't get enough exercise as it is. Don't take away my mouse clicks. That's like 1 calorie per click. And then finally, we have the meme face of the week, which will go, I don't know, I'm running out of meme faces for weeks, and I'm only on my 3rd video. Let's do a... That does it for me. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next time. I am going to go bathe in the blood of my enemies.